Hello, I'm Lavis, and this is Sonic Unleashed All Night Stages. Normally this is known for two modes of gameplay, where you play as the good old Blue Blur in the daytime and the fun little Weirhog guy at night. This is just all the stages that occur at nighttime, completed in any order. And I think, despite being a completely different style of gameplay, the Weirhog has a lot to offer. Really cool run. So with that, we'll get started with our first level, Arid Sands. Now, immediately we're going to see something called a go-through walls. You can do a rolling kick combo. You can guard cancel it at the right time, which you can do with all of your attacks. And you can go through walls. Now, Unleashed has two-sided collisions, so unfortunately we have to clip back in. We're also going to use great use of the skill attack. Probably our fastest way to move around if we have the space for it. And one last one here. And what I did was skip basically the entire level. There's a lot of combat. There's 4 keys you need to open a door to get here. Also, since you're max stats, you have all the moves you'll ever need. And one of which is the Missile Punch, which allows you to just charge up a super powerful punch. And specifically going around the Titan, which we need to defeat. Come on. Dead. Sometimes that can happen. And that's Arid Sands. Last level you do chronologically, but it's not that hard. Next we're going to Spagonia Rooftop Ride. This emphasizes a lot more of the platforming, as well as being played 90% out of bounds. Well, actually 60, I'd say. We're gonna jump on this awning and go over a trigger there with that aerial claw combo that you'll see quite a bit. It's like an air dash. Gives us a little bit of extra distance out of a jump. And do not worry, I know where I'm going. Use that claw attack to get over to the other side here. Hit a checkpoint through the wall, and respawn on the other side. Now the clock tower, inside of this clock tower, there's a great bit of Weirhog platforming. Requires a lot of locking onto stuff. This is going to become very important. You'll notice that I'm trying to get myself low on some of these, so you can get more height off the rebound. Now, normally you would have to pull this lever over here for like 1 billion years in order to turn the clock. But we can do a very conveniently placed drill jump thanks to that little light. And that's Rooftop Run. That was an amazing time. Not gonna lie, that was very good. And finally, for all the glitches, there's one more glitch that you need to have out of it in order to play ANS pretty fast on ice stages. And that's best showcased here in Jungle Joyride Act 2. I have to make this platform cycle real quick because it's only good on the first time you enter the stage. Made it. Go jump around here. You'll walk kind of carefully around this fight trigger. It spawn walls all around this area. And do what's called the flying rear hug glitch. So you are allowed to do this combo infinitely, and if you can kind of slide off a surface pretty carefully, we do so with the Age of the Rock there. You can just fly for as long as you have Unleash. You are also much faster when you are on Unleash. We're gonna refill on Unleash there, so we can make it over here. I had to go to that platform first, so I could spawn these objects, so I could make it up to the final area. We had to do a bunch of combat. Deactivate. So combat is usually not a huge concern. Because you're playing New Game Plus, so you are at max stats. Nice. That fight is very RNG driven. When it goes well, it goes well. When it doesn't, it can go incredibly wrong. Coming up, we have one of the more nerve-wracking levels in the game. Usually a lot of people put this level first or second in their route. Because of how difficult the go-through wall we do is. So we're gonna grab another bit of Unleash here. And we're gonna do some more flying. It would be a great time for a message from my theoretical host. You don't unlock this skill, I think, until like combat level 31. One of the last things you get. Now I need to load the door, so I can also load the goal ring. I could walk in there, but there would have been no point. Hey, first try. 3 missile punches should take this guy out. Nice. Now we just gotta deactivate the waterfall. And we're out. 2 more drills, and we're done with the Underground Act 1. So yeah. Coming up, we have the longest night stage. Night stages are known for being pretty long. This one we couldn't quite make shorter through some flying or some out-of-bounds shenanigans. Although we do have quite a bit that we can do in Cool Edge. One thing that's unique to Cool Edge is also the ice physics. That you get on these bits here. You can jump on this barrel and go around a trigger. That way we need to see a cutscene in order to grab that key and put it in the hole. However, we have go-through walls for that. Doors are walls. They count. I'm gonna uppercut there. They hit the checkpoint just above me, so that we don't have to deal with any enemies here while I do this go-through wall. Hit the checkpoint from the other side. Death work. Correct side. You have to hit this button and zoom in on the door for a little bit so that we can okay, that's fine. I hit the checkpoint. For now, it's just platforming. I really like how the Weird Hog moves in Unleashed. Big jumps like these are always enjoyable. Your drill doesn't just give you a really good source of grounded movement. It can also be used for aerial movement as well if you have the real estate to drop some height. What you do not want to do is drill over like a puddle of water or something. Or else you just sink really fast when you start the drill. So on ground, it's not a problem. Now we get to see what we're intended to do with that door we put through. You have to thaw the ice in front of it, and then hit the button. Usually you want to do those two at the same time there. You have to focus for this. Yeah. Nice. Okay. One last gap to clear. And now this switch does nothing, but it'll do something very important for us in the final area. It'll spawn a little, I think it's a snowman. Why not? With power claws, and power claws make us deal double damage for a little bit. We're gonna do that before we start the final waves of enemies. Ideally, we want to knock all these enemies down. Because the game waits until enemies are downed in order to actually despawn them, and that's the condition for events to happen. So, generally, when we kill enemies to do required combat, we want those enemies to be knocked down, but it's an attack that does do that. Drill counts, a couple others do as well. So we're just gonna go over this wall in Empire City. Do a pretty tight drill jump all the way over to this pole. This stage is a lot of ledges and swingable objects. I know when I was playing casually, I found this to be the hardest night stage outside of, Eggman Land. That doesn't really count. theoretical host messages. Now, for this next part, we need to get a specific amount of unleash for the enemies we kill here. At least enough to get us to the activation threshold before I only have to deal with the dark blue ones, but okay, that'll do. That's a lot, actually. Hit the switch to extend the pole. Now, from this point forward, I cannot die. Okay. So, what I just went around with that drill jump is a little bit of a trigger that can cause this part of the stage to deload. But thankfully that didn't happen. And now that we're finally over here, we can activate Unleash. Instead of pushing a box around and doing a bunch of other stuff, like destroying the generator, we can just fly over here. That was why we got the Unleash in the first place. And we just need to make it over that little tiny crack in the wall. Or just skip the last height and end the stage. This is one of my favorite levels, although it is kind of annoying sometimes. Dragon Road Act 2. You're gonna see the stage and say, he's gonna do all that? And the answer is, no. I'm not. I'm gonna stand on some invisible stuff. Now, if you're wondering what that first thing was, the second thing was a purple wall. The first thing was a torch. They extend vertically as collision quite high. So we abuse that fact. To basically skip most of the stage by going over there, pulling a switch that's towards the end. I didn't even see. And since we don't care about the key, putting to my left, we can just end the stage. Very short, very cool level. Now for Dragon Road Act 1. Dragon Road 1. Also really cool, but there's very little go-through walls. It's a very quote-unquote honest stage. I guess this is the time to talk about breakable walls. Every breakable wall is 5 hits strong. And we can do the one go-through wall. Hit the checkpoint through the wall. Respawn, you may see a pattern here. You need to be very careful not to start a drill over the water there. I accidentally ran off the edge without jumping. That's fine. Unfortunate. And then we're gonna use the pole. Whee! Now you're supposed to go around to the right of this building, but we can use the rooftop to get on this dragon thing pretty fast. Normally there's an invis wall. Oh, there is an invis wall preventing us from exiting the dragon's mouth. I had to go a little bit around. There's that pulsar trap there, you can just skip it. It's off cycle. Oh well. And you don't have to fight anything. Very convenient. We try and be a little bit pacifist if we can. Now we're going to Windmill Isle. Got 4 stages left. This is the first stage you do as the Weirhog, and it's hilarious because the enemies don't scale with your level. So you're still fighting level 1 statted enemies. Means like weaker attacks, but still one shot. Again, we still want to knock enemies down because they despawn faster. We're gonna use the Weir Rush, which is just you press Y while you're dashing. We kind of reposition ourselves while going pretty fast. Although it kills your speed at the end, it doesn't matter for some purposes. It's the fastest way to run if you have to stop. I'll take a 2-shot. Sometimes if the enemy formation is good, you can get all 3 of them in one shot. Fortunately. Now these guys don't have a height cap. You can just keep chaining over and over again. They don't hit you. You can get over the wall. And there's another wall here. And then some rail platforming. Ugh. And coming up on the first Titan you ever seen in the game. So the big guys with the clubs. Oh no, whatever shall I do? He has so much health. I'm just going to pop Unleash and drill. And he's dead. Unleash also gives you some damage. Very good with Mile 1. Coming up we have Windmill Isle 2. Which is a very what's behind door number 12 stage. Facing the circular arena and you're tasked to find a way out. You have something a little sneakier than go through walls for this. See if I can hit it. We get the power claws because there is a Titan on the other side. Uppercut. Yep. And that's from Mile 2. No doors required. And the last two stages we'll be doing, we're going to be in Savannah Citadel. Act 1, it's pretty fun. It's just a culmination of a lot of the mechanics. Not going to be any go-through walls, but I did figure out, after I submitted a good IL for the level, that you can hold the sprint button while you're pulling that box and you just pull it faster. Ooh, that was a bit fast. There is a new route, shout out to Most Unique, that basically bypasses every trigger from the start of the stage until that door behind the purple wall. It is faster, it is also extremely difficult. Good fight. Gonna bypass the elevator by just uppercutting over there. Let me get up onto this wooden platform. And I want to talk to whoever designed these. Like, how were these supposed to be? I'm curious. Like a slingshot kind of thing? I don't know. I'm gonna grab some Unleash here for later. For the final waves of combat. Now, there's a roll, but it doesn't care if you're grounded until it ends. So we can use that to kind of position ourselves under the pole just right, so we can grab it. Much faster than intended. That's Savannah Citadel 1. Oh, wow. That was fast. And the last stage is Savannah Citadel 2. This stage is cyclic, short, and sweet, but there are a lot of tightropes. And okay, now it's second load cycle, so I have to slow down a little bit. Oh well. And time ends when the skull ring spawns. Time. And that's Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed, all night stages. Thank you for watching. That PB's by a minute and a half. And I hope to make it into wherever I'm going with this. This run has been a lot of fun to learn and a lot of fun to show off. I hope you'll consider it too. Thanks.